Imagine. Imagine a YouTuber making a ton of Spider-Man videos for views. Imagine a YouTuber riding one of the greatest Spider-Man hype trains prior to one of the most anticipated movie releases of all time. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's exactly what I'm doing, and my channel has grown because of it, alright? What's going on, everybody? Cryptix. And there's been a lot of hype with Spider-Man, right? You got, Spider-Man in the Avengers game. I completely dunked on that. That was a terrible product. Spider-Man's in Fortnite, which is pretty cool. And now we have some additional Spider-Man content in a 3-year-old game made by probably one of the best gaming developers out there in the year of 2021. This is easily going to be probably my most positive video that I've ever made about a gaming developer on the channel. And I think it's rightfully deserved, right? Like, I've obviously been known for, speaking negatively about a lot of things. So the fact that I'm saying something extremely positive about a game dev is already, I would say, like, awesome in of itself. Like, I don't even think the game dev cares about my recognition, but it would be really greatly appreciated if you guys can drop a like on this video, especially since, the new Spider-Man movie's coming out. This content that we got completely resonates with that, and I just think it's a really cool thing for a dev to do this type of thing on a 3-year-old game. So dropping a like is greatly appreciated. If you are new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. Let's get into it, man. So Insomniac Games has developed a multitude of different titles and IPs throughout, I would say, even the decade, right? You had the Arkham Knight series, you got Spider-Man that released back in 2018, September 2018, and those are like the two main ones, right? Like, they're well known, like, by far more than I think any other game that they've ever released. They're known for the Batman series and the Spider-Man games that they've released, that being Spider-Man PlayStation 4/PlayStation 5 with the remastered version of it, and then also Spider-Man Miles Morales. It's just like, these IPs Insomniac has completely nailed in terms of gaming mechanics, graphics, storylines, plots, etc., right? Well, they decided to give us content for Spider-Man like, even after the game came out. And I'm not just talking about DLC plot lines, which obviously probably took a ton of time to produce and more resources than the things that I'll be talking about later on in the video. But, Insomniac has already done all of that. They've given us amazing DLC, great plot points, even some aspects that actually, transitioned really easily into Spider-Man Miles Morales. They even carried over some of those plots from the main story and the DLC to that game. But the developer basically gave us suits for the past 3 years, like cosmetics that aren't just reskins. I know some people are going to say, oh, well, Spider-Man Avengers game has cosmetics too, and you're not talking about them. No, they're not just reskins of, Spider-Man skins that already exist in the game. No, that's exactly what, Square Enix did in Avengers. No, these are completely revamped from the ground up skins, cosmetic items that Insomniac has given us. So I think some primary ones would be Spider-Man Far From Home. You had the Iron Spider suit from, like, Infinity War and Endgame that they gave us. They gave us the Raimi suit. They gave us the Amazing Spider-Man suit. Like, they've given us suits along with the movie titles that have been released by Marvel, and it's great to see all of that, right? Well, now they decided to give us 2 additional suits 3 years later in honor of Spider-Man No Way Home, and that is the black suit. And you've probably already seen the black suit gameplay at this point, but there's also the integrated suit, or they're calling it the hybrid suit as well in the game. And these are the 2 suits that Tom Holland will be in Spider-Man No Way Home. And it's just crazy to see that this dev has given us a main story, 3 DLC plot lines, and like probably around 7 to 8 cosmetic items in addition to the 30 plus that they gave us when the game came out, right? So it's just absurd at the amount of content this game had, and for the price value that we got it for the PlayStation users, that being PlayStation 4 and the PlayStation 5. Now, I do have to say, there is some controversy here because PlayStation 5 users exclusively got these two suits. Now, in my opinion, Insomniac, even as great as I'm saying it, the one critique that I would have is like, why couldn't you give it to the PlayStation 4 users? Was it a licensing thing? Was it just a matter of trying to transfer it over to like a not remastered version of the game? I want to know that. I want to know that transparency. I don't think a dev has really flat out said it. They've just said, oh, well, we've given you guys all the other cosmetics. We're just not giving you the new ones for the new movie coming out. Like, I think because of the climate we're in, where not everyone has a PlayStation 5, they really should have tried to give it to the PlayStation 4 users, unless there was some type of licensing or, like resource deal that they just couldn't give it to the players, right? But at the end of the day, it's still great to see. The fact that we got these cosmetic items is crazy because, like, you would think that they would give it to us, like, when Spider-Man 2 comes out, which is going to be the next Spider-Man game that Insomniac makes. I think it's going to be released in about 12 to 18 months, which is also a great sign. But it's crazy that we've gotten this from a 3-year-old game, even though, PlayStation 5 users are only getting it. It's still crazy to see that a dev is giving users content on a very old game. I think the only other game that really, like, I guess, has given us content for even more time, to be honest, would be like Rockstar with Grand Theft Auto, right? We've gotten, GTA Online, the stories, the main campaign with like some DLC in there. Like, I guess Grand Theft Auto has been like the longest standing game that we've ever had, but even for a superhero game to have this type of thing happen is awesome. And I think more IPs like Star Wars, more Marvel characters, hopefully, like down the line, even some DC characters, like those types of main IPs that all of us super nerds want to, see in video games. Superman, right? Like, I really think Insomniac can nail some of these characters. I would love to see, a Superman game made by Insomniac. I think they would nail it in terms of storyline, in terms of the mechanics, so Superman's not, like, just completely OP. Maybe you, like, build back your Superman character. Maybe he, like, suffers something where he can't use all of his powers all right away, and then he slowly gains them back, so maybe he's OP by the end game or third act of the game. Stuff like that. I probably just gave Insomniac, like, a great idea, but, like, an Avengers IP would be insane from Insomniac. Could you imagine Spider-Man, but, like, with Thor and Iron Man and Captain America, Black Widow, and Hulk all in one game? Like, that would be every nerd's dream. I would pay $100 for that version of Insomniac making a Marvel Avengers game. And what's crazy is that there is the Avengers Tower in Spider-Man, the game, so I wouldn't be surprised if Insomniac's trying to, get a little, I guess, universe building for themselves. That would be absurd. That would be next level for the gaming industry. But what I'm trying to get at here is that Insomniac put in a lot of love, heart, and effort into this game, and I don't think a lot of games in 2021 really show that. So the fact that Insomniac has given that to us in a beloved character in Spider-Man, one of the characters that really jump-started Marvel, like, is probably one of the core, pieces of the Marvel origin. It's just crazy to see that so much, I guess, effort went into this character, and we're still getting content for it. I would love to see Insomniac grow as a company, and to see other IPs actually, be games underneath Insomniac, because it would just be great products. I mean, they really haven't given us a bad product in the Batman games or in the Spider-Man IP, and I just think they would nail a lot of these superheroes. So that's pretty much what I wanted to say, man. I think it's great. The only nitpick would be that, like, maybe PlayStation 4 users could get this too, but it's just awesome to see that this much effort has gone into Spider-Man. Like, Spider-Man's one of my favorite superheroes. The new movie's coming out. And it's just wild that a game dev in 2021 is still putting in content, for free, mind you, on a 3-year-old game. I'm Cryptix. gonna start playing some Spider-Man prior to No Way Home's release, and signing off.